Hey guys, Dustin Wynn.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the 25th episode of the Everything Batman podcast. Today we have a special guest known as Boston Bats and Chris on the show. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Not bad, man. Happy to be here. That intro is just music to my ears, bro.
Isn't it?
I love it.
I always say it all the time beginning of most shows. I get really emotional with the Kevin Conroy part because I'm like,
oh, I know.
You know, that's tough. So young, but
I know. I was looking at Insta over the weekend and like I haven't posted anything outside of a story in so long. My last actual post is the RIP Kevin Conroy post. And every time I go in, I see that. I'm just like, damn.
You better post like 9 more things to get it out the way because we're still going to remember him. Like, you know, you know, we grew up in the Batman animated series era. So it's like we're constantly reminded and it's a great memory. But thanks for finding the time to jump on. We just had a weekend over at Boston. Obviously, we went over to Wicked Comic-Con for the weekend, and just wanted to share a couple of experiences we had, and just overall, like, just discuss how this con went. I don't know. I don't want to do a rating yet, but going into Wicked Con, what was like your expectations going into it last weekend?
I mean, for me, like the step up year over year was just so like ridiculous. Like last year was a great show, you know, one day, quick hit in and out. You know, you had Sean Murphy there, you know, you had a lot of great vendors there. And, I mean, it was a success. It was a great time. And like seeing the names they were pulling this year, my first thought was like, am I going to be able to hit everybody I want to hit? Because, you know, you go to the bigger shows and you're like, oh, I got to trade off, you know, seeing this person versus that person because the line's so long or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, in one respect, I like didn't know what to expect, but on the other hand, knowing that it, you know, it was a relatively smaller show, comparatively speaking, like was really just hoping to be able to like see, you know, Adam Hughes and Mark Brooks and Dave Johnson and all those guys who aren't in Boston a lot.
Yeah, I kind of went in the same way too. I saw that lineup. I'm like, I was like, man, am I? Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I came in knowing it was going to be a smaller show, but with big names like that, you think, you know, people are going to go out their way to show up. Considering, I think we got really lucky. We got really lucky that it wasn't as big as it was in our mind.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted it to be bigger for Randy's sake. He was our last guest here. And I wanted them to make sure it was a very successful con. I think it was. I just think more people could have shown up, but I think enough people showed up. And I think that's like the good thing about it because it's not a major con. So I don't think it was a failure at all. I just think that it was comic book based, comic book focused, and that's exactly who showed up.
And that's huge, you know, like Fan Expo's great. You know, I've enjoyed it the last, you know, few years since they've taken over here. And, you know, they've brought in some big names, you know, I've gotten to meet Todd McFarlane, John Romita, Capullo, all those guys over the years. And it's amazing. Even like my first con was the last year. It was Boston Comic-Con. And I went one day just on that Friday and Snyder, Capullo, Frank Miller, got to meet all three, went to the panels. I had just gotten into comics. So like, I didn't, you know, there were so many other names like Raphael Albuquerque, Azzarello was there. And like, now I'd be like, oh yeah, this is great. But even back then, like it was amazing to me. And then seeing Fan Expo grow so much and, you know, again, going back to the idea of like, oh, well, you know, I have to skip seeing, you know, this panel because that's when Capullo's signing or I got to do this or that and make trade-offs. Yeah. This was a show that it never felt like that again. And I feel like that was such a big thing as a comic fan, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I think, because of the size of the venue and the amount of people that were there, it gave you no time to go to the Adam Hughes line numerous times to just actually even walk around and see what other artists are capable of. Me personally, and you know, we're gonna go through the pictures and stuff. Mark Brooks for me, I learned a lot more from Mark. I learned a lot from about Mark Brooks and like David Mack, right? Because like I've
Yeah.
seen their art so many times, but like David Mack has this water splash art that I'm
Yeah.
familiar with, but like I'm not like, oh crap, that's David Mack. And Mark Brooks, I know he has a lot of phenomenal 1 in 100s and 1 in 25 Marvel covers, gorgeous covers. And I never really see him as a DC guy. That's me for slacking, right?
Yep.
And focusing on the names that I'm very familiar with. When you think, when for me, for this con in particular, Sean Gordon Murphy, Clay McCormick, Adam Hughes, Brian Stelfreeze, Amanda Connor, and Jimmy. Names I'm very familiar with, and that's most of the reason why I went there, because that's what the books that I brought. But then after the first day, really, I had everything I needed signed, and I
Same.
would walk around and appreciate other artists' work. And now I'm like, great, just what I wanted, right? Like, know more about other
Right.
artists. I could go crazy at the next con, or God knows how big this show is going to be next year. It's going to be 2 days. So, now I'm like, all right, it's shows like this that helps you appreciate other artists, and get to know vendors or get to talk to artists and or their handlers and such. So
Yeah.
overall, it was a great show. I came out just grinning ear to ear. I couldn't stop talking about it. I called,
Same.
shout out to TNK Comics, Nando Knight. I was chatting with him on the way back. Me and Sean Risley were like, we had him on speaker, just chatting how great of a show it was. I kind of like, I walked out of this feeling better than I did most big shows.
That's a great point. I mean, that's again what it comes down to for me is like access, right? Like you go to these
Yeah,
shows, you want to be able to see the artists that you want to see,
yeah,
and have time to see new artists, or maybe even just like random stuff. Like you might have that one variant cover, right? Like Terry Dodson. I'm not super familiar with his
oh
work.
yeah, I am.
I know he's got that really dope Batgirl cover with Joker, the playing card that I forgot to bring with me both days.
Oh yeah, when you
Uh,
saw me with it, you're like, damn it, I forgot
yeah,
that.
and then I forgot it twice. I saw you with it Saturday. I forgot to bring it Sunday. But even like he did the Midtown Batman #1 from King and Finch's run, and
Oh
I got
yeah,
those guys to sign that. I think 2017 at Fan Expo. I've never seen Dodson. I've been waiting since 17 to just get him to sign that book, just
yeah,
to have all three on it. Finally knocked it out, right? Like it's the little things like that. Like
yeah,
and I got to see more of his work while I was at his table, talk to him a little bit, and now he's somebody I'm going to follow and pay more attention to, and like
yeah.
actively look for his stuff. And then I still got to go to all the big names that I knew I wanted to go. I had 4 sketches that I wanted to get, and I got them all. Like
That's all right. So that was huge, and
yeah,
let's go through them, because
yeah.
you amazed me with some of the things you got, and you were just like, you came out of nowhere, and you were like, yo, check this out.
Some of the
Um,
stuff came out of nowhere, man. Some of that was unexpected, especially some of the Dave Johnson stuff. And I mean, just unreal.
that's all right. So that's another plus, guys. Just because you had, like, you mentioned having access to the artists and stuff, it's like they're not as busy, right? It's not like an assembly line. You go to New York Comic Con, you go to a fan expo. I'll be in San Diego, so I can't speak much for San Diego until I actually experience it.
It's nuts.
Um, yeah, so from what I hear, but it's like, it's like the lines are massive, and as an artist, it's tough because like you want to have your time with the people that are fans of yours, but you can't, because it's like you got to rush it. Like, oh crap, look at this freaking line. But you had, I think the longest line was what's his face? I forgot the artist's name. Is it like Carlos something?
Oh, not the Marvel guy.
Yeah, his
Oh,
line was
Chris Bachalo.
yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah,
that line.
that dude, I never even heard of him, and I'm gonna plug my good buddy, comic book Juju on Instagram, Juju. He's been like my best friend since like second grade, like in each
Nice.
other's weddings, like the whole deal. He was supposed to come out for the show, wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. And he was like, "Hey, like there's a ASM comic mint cover. Can you grab that and get it signed by Chris Bachalo for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem, man." I go over, I grab the book, I look at Chris's line, I'm like, "Ah, it's kind of crazy. I'll come back later." All day Saturday. Like there was a point, like he was set up, right? Like you walk into the convention hall and then he's right to the left. Like the line was like snaked out into like
Yeah.
the hallway, like in just like the building itself
Like people
all
think
day.
that was a line to get in. No, it was his line,
Yeah, it was nuts.
which was
So I
nuts.
ended up doing it Sunday, and I was still in line for a little over an hour. And
Yeah.
it
That was the
was in
longest line. I had
yeah.
I need to look more at his art. I didn't have a chance to look at anything of his because again, that line was ridiculous.
Yeah, and from what I was told, like I'm not a Marvel guy at all. I'm DC all the way, and he's a big deal in Marvel. And I guess he doesn't do a lot of shows, so a lot of people were getting their opportunity to meet him. And even when I got the book signed, like took time to chat a little bit. And I was like, please don't ask me anything that will put me on the spot because I'm doing this for a friend. Your art looks awesome. But again, another artist that like now I'm gonna like look into and like pay attention to, right? Like it's all
Yeah.
about learning, the
I
meeting and all that.
I do that all the time when I'm like trying to get something signed for someone. I'm
Yep.
just like, please don't ask me anything.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna sound horrible, and I'm gonna document this. Um,
Yep.
for like, I get book signed by I get signed by Chris Claremont, a bunch of like X-Men book, and I know some of his stuff. I don't know at all, and like he just starts flipping pages, starts talking to me about X-Men. Like I watched X-Men the animated series. I didn't read any X-Men growing up, none whatsoever. I just watched the cartoons, enjoy the cartoons. Same thing with most Spider-Man. I'm such a DC guy, and it sucks because it's like I enjoy the animated series. I enjoy the movies. I enjoy their stuff. I don't have time to add Marvel stuff to the things I
Yeah.
read. Although I'm reading Something's Killing the Children and Ice Cream
Oh
Man,
yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah,
still,
I
it's
just got
tough.
the I just got the Midtown Ice Cream Man hardcover last time I was in New York. The
Oh,
Dr. Seuss.
the yellow one.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause I have it here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Actually, I gotta see mine.
first 20 issues, I think it was.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah,
that
I
guy
got that
right
triple
there.
signed.
Yeah, this is signed too.
Oh,
Has like
sweet.
their COA and everything.
Oh, also, yeah, it's the same thing I did. You had to buy that, and then you get any other book signed. I got like two of their number one signed or something like that.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, like it's tough. And then I'm like, damn, this line's long as hell. Who the hell is that? But then again, that's what happens at a small con. You actually have the chance and opportunity to know these things. But my favorite line was, of course, the Adam Hughes line.
Mhm.
Adam Hughes is a man of very few words. And he
Facts.
really did keep it moving. If you ever watch him sketch, and since I already mentioned them, let's go through a few things.
Batgirl.
Yeah, you got this done.
Yes, I got that done. I had a sketch set up ahead of time with Yannick Paquette, and I was trying to get Batgirl, and I was looking for a Batgirl blank. Couldn't find one anywhere. There's only like one out there that I know of, and it's so hard to get. And I ended up going Batman with
Only
him. But
one.
then when I saw the Hughes line was actually like accessible, I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
I got to get Batgirl. So I was like, all right, well, the Tech 1027, it's a good cover, so I went for it, and I mean, knocked it out of the park.
yeah, and like this only takes him like about like maybe 4 to 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's so
amazing just
fast.
watching him. Like just he pencils it real quick, and then he just gets a black marker, not even like a artist marker, just straight up Sharpie.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was like, "Yo, what the hell's going on?" And it was insane. So this was for your PC.
yep, yep. That's
Awesome.
all me.
Then I went over. I did this Sunday. Got this for a friend of mine. He wanted a Zatanna. I kind of messed up, and the full story with this, Eric. My bad. I was supposed to pick up a Justice League blank, which I did today. I'm a week late, and he had this all set up for me to go pick up for him. So I felt bad, and I'm like, he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Next time." Nah, man. I said I was going to pick up the blank, so I ran over to this. I forget the vendor's name, but it's a guy from Jersey. He has the best blanks. I'm not going to tell you exactly who this guy is because he's my supplier of blanks every time I see him at a con in the Northeast. Just don't follow me.
Fair.
So
I know nothing.
I picked a few Justice League blanks, and I was like, all right, the closest best thing would be like Dark Side Wars. I had another one, but everyone was like, "Oh, you're cool. You gotta ask Adam to do an Aquaman," and I was like, "That's the second person to say this. I need to get a different blank." So I picked this up, got this gorgeous Satana for my buddy Eric, and then the one I got from my PC, of course, I had to go with a Catwoman.
I love that. I saw this and I went and bought my blank immediately and got mine. Like no
Watching it,
joke. Like immediately.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I think I got it done. And then like you saw it on my story, and then you're like, dude, let me see the Catwoman. And I showed you, and I was like, yeah, I can't believe I finally got one. I was like, this is for me. That was one of my main goals at Wicked when I saw that Adam Hughes is going to be there. Was this, and this was the first thing I tackled before something else. The something else we'll talk about later because that just came out of left field. But this was like
The
one of my
big piece.
the big piece. Ugh. This was like huge, and I finally got it, and I'm so excited.
It's gorgeous.
I'm doing this project for myself where I'm getting Catwoman sketches. I want to get to 10, Harley Quinn 10, Poison Ivy 10, and then I'm slowly going to go into Batgirl, probably Zatanna. I just got a Supergirl blank, so I'm great. I'm gonna go down that route. Just the women of DC, and then try to
Love
get
it.
the men of DC and see how far this collection goes. See how far along I want to do this. I need Zatanna blanks, guys. Someone make Zatanna blanks. Stat.
Right.
Or make another Batgirl blank. We got
I know, for
one.
real.
Yeah, we got the one random issue.
Yeah, I
And
don't remember what issue it is. I think it's something out of Rebirth, or maybe it might even be back to New 52.
I think
I
it's New
can't remember.
52, but it was like issue like 36 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we need more of that. So
Yeah.
definitely that. Did we get any other? No. Okay.
I got one.
Oh, you
for,
got this signed.
I got that signed. Yeah. Actually, speaking of Batgirl, right? Like, this is a book, like, for whatever reason, I've never picked up this Batgirl #1. And finally, I'm like, all right, Adam Hughes is here. I have to. There's a booth with like a stack of them. He had, I think, first through third printings. And I'm just going
Nice.
through. I'm like, all right, which one has the least amount of spine breaks in it? Like, it definitely wasn't gradable, but just to have that sign was nice. Because again, when do you
Yeah,
see Adam Hughes? Like, he doesn't do shows really.
he doesn't. I think we might. I know he did WonderCon. He did this one. I think he has another showing him. Maybe San Diego or New York.
Yeah, the big ones, right?
The
And
big
are you
ones.
getting
Yeah.
near him there?
Yeah. I don't even want to look at. I don't even want to think about those lines.
Yeah.
Someone else that, of course, one of them, like everyone knows, I'm a huge fan of Sean Gordon Murphy, and something I bought. Let me take this down. Something I bought. I ended up buying this prelim, and this prelim is actually a prelim to a cover of Batman White Knight issue 7.
Yep.
If you look close, it's a Joker cover. It's for a prelim. There's a lot going on here. Even got a mini prelim over here in the top right hand corner. And, here you are, you have Bruce Wayne or Batman in jail. And if you guys ever read the story, this is actually a part of the story. And I saw this, it had a nice price to it. It was definitely good to sell. And in a moment's instant, I went from, I don't want to spend X amount of dollars to forget about it. I'm taking it. No one else is taking this. So I snagged it. It's over here in the back. Got home, put a frame over it, right over here, right above the Batman Who Laughs, because they're both smiling. So that was a big piece for me. Biggest piece I've bought. I never spent that much money on one thing at a Comic-Con. And then here's just me and Sean Gordon Murphy as he hands me my piece because I picked it up at the end of Saturday.
Smart.
And yeah, don't walk around with it. If you pay for it, it puts sold. If you don't want to walk around with something, you don't have to. Especially if you spend money on it, you come back and they'll give you a time to pick it up. And I picked it up later on that day, and no complaints because I came home, boom, found out it was 11x17, threw it up. For those of you on that Facebook group, the sketch art or whatever Facebook group, whatever it's called, I posted it on there. Saw a lot of people posting things. It was awesome. That was my first post, my first actual art piece besides sketches. Another sketch that I got, of course, had to get, every time I see Sean Gordon Murphy, I had to get something for myself. I ended up getting this Batman Beyond. Not bad. Yo, for real, I don't think, like for $80, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. You have some artists out there that are charging you, $250 for a remark. Which is nuts. And this wasn't even that bad, but apparently Murphy during the show went in because it wasn't that busy. And he started adding color to some remarks or sketches. And went in, and I was like, wow, like I'm about to give him another book, but I think I did enough. I did enough damage with Sean Murphy.
That's something I noticed at this show too. Is sketch prices for everybody like weren't bad.
No, not
I
at
feel
all.
like
Because even like Adam Hughes was $75,
yeah, like,
and
come on, it's a
everyone
no
had a
brainer.
blank cover. Everyone had a
Yeah.
blank, and for $75, you get a full size blank, guys.
Yeah,
Full size,
that's a no brainer.
$75. Like you jump on that.
Yeah,
Like
he did a
that's
Harley for a buddy of mine too that I didn't share. I'll let him share it if anybody follows. I got issues on Insta. He's got a dope Harley. Actually, it's his daughter's really.
yeah.
But I'm sure he'll share it. And like color in that, like it came out amazing. It's Jester Harley. It looks so good. And $75. You can't beat that. Like I think about Fan Expo and like I usually don't get sketches because I see the sketch prices and I'm like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Or like I can buy a book for that price that I've been chasing. And I usually leave Fan Expo with a couple CGC books and I try to get a lot of stuff signed, just buy a lot of prints, and like now I'm just like going in on sketches. So to see the prices being like so
Reasonable.
good this year, yeah, right. Like, and I'm all for paying the artists for their art, right? But
Yeah.
as a budget conscious fan, I want to spread it around a little bit. I always got to pick and choose. So like, I just went nuts this show, which was amazing.
Which and we're gonna share some of the things you went nuts on. You picked this up,
Yes.
which is amazing. Dave Johnson piece.
Yeah. So Dave too, man. Like I went to his table on Saturday and I wanted to get a flash cover done. I love his flash. His flash #1 from Rebirth is one of my favorite covers. Actually, that's one of the books when I went to San Diego, I brought out to make sure to get him to sign it because I had never seen him anywhere but there before.
Yeah.
So like I went there for that and he had all his big artwork out. And then I went back on Sunday and he had this little book. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I go through and it's all these prelim sketches that weren't out there. And like they were not expensive. Like this was $50.
That's nuts.
And
When you told me that, I was like, I needed to go over there. I didn't even get a chance.
yeah, I mean, when you flip through, like I don't think I told you how much the one of the other pieces cost, but like this right here, like this was allegedly a statue design that didn't get made because I'm like, wait, when did you do anything Long Halloween? He had, I think this is as design B. I think he had like 5 or 6 pieces from that, and he was like, oh yeah, it was like a statue concept or something that never really got made. So I don't know what DC had cooking,
Wow.
but
That would have been a sick statue.
changed the guard and shut down the collectibles and all that good stuff. So what may have been, right? But
Yeah.
it's my favorite Batman story. I love Dave Johnson. This many characters on the piece, like how could I
For
not?
$50, dude.
Yeah.
That's a
Amazing.
steal. Then you popped up with this.
Speaking of Dave Johnson's Flash, right? So this was $10. I kid you not. This was $10. I couldn't believe it. Like I immediately split it out.
It's like he's retiring or something. Just getting rid of it.
Right.
Flash
Right.
sale. That's
So
unbelievable.
for everybody out there, if you see Dave Johnson at a show and you're a fan of his art, if you can swing a page or an in-person sketch, which I also did do, like do it. Support him, grab the big pieces. But if you just want to find something dope from Dave, like flip through his little prelim book, you're going to find some absolute gems in there. And I mean, they range. There were some that were a couple hundred, but like, I mean, I think he also had both prelim covers for the Batman audio adventures that he did. I think one's like the actual cover for it and for the book, and then one was like from something digital.
Oh,
and
nice.
I went back to get one of those because I kind of regretted not getting it. It was already gone.
Damn.
Like somebody found that real quick.
This was a great find. And then another. Oh, this is
Michael Cho.
Yeah, Michael Cho. I didn't get a chance to go to his table either. I just got caught up with so much other nonsense, but this is an amazing piece, man. Like
he was off on that like sidewall.
Yeah. How much was it? How much is this one? Yeah.
This is like $150, but it's Michael Cho. So he doesn't do commissions at shows. Like he stopped doing commissions at shows a few years back. And basically he's just like, I was spending all my time at the table like drawing, or all my time in the hotel drawing. It was fun, but like I didn't get to interact with people. I didn't get to, even like network, because Comic-Con's like for us, right? Like we go to see the artists and the writers, but it's also a chance for them to hang out too, because like they live all over the place. So when they go to shows, like I mean, we saw them at the drink and draw, right? There's a whole table of everybody, just, having a blast. And I'm like, yeah, it's like the band getting back together, and then they're all going to go off their separate ways tomorrow. So So anyway, like he doesn't do sketches at cons. He does a book of pre-drawn sketches. He usually brings a bunch for every show, and the prices range. Like I saw some that were 1,000 plus, and they were beautiful pieces. But he was somebody I knew like I wanted to get something from, so like I beeline. He was the first person I looked for because I knew these would go fast too. So I went right to that book. Had a couple of things get signed and was just chatting with them, flipping through, and I mean I love Batcat, right? Like how could
Yeah,
you not?
I remember you showing me this and I was like, what? And I'm like, damn it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I blew my load the moment the con started. So I was like, all right, I was out of commission for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an amazing piece. And of course, like you said, with the Batcat, and Mike is an amazing artist. I only seen him, I think it's only the second con at all the Comic Cons I've been to that I've seen him at.
He's been at Boston once or twice. I feel like he was there maybe I don't know if it was 2019 or if it was 2021, the first year back from COVID they did it.
Okay.
It might have been 19 because I think Canada travel is still hard in 21, and he comes down from up north. But yeah, he's such a nice guy. Like every time I get a chance to talk to him, like I respect him not doing commissions thing because he really does enjoy like talking to fans and just hanging out, and being at the table. So like, I mean, a sketch is a sketch, right? Like I'd probably just be
Oh,
like, hey,
yeah.
can you do a Batman on a cover for me anyway? It's like I'll take this all day and have the chance to sit down and talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's a great piece. I got to look for him next time. Well, it's hard because you always like, depending on who's there, you prioritize, and I gotta prioritize and get a piece by him eventually.
Yeah.
Here's something you did get done.
The Dave Johnson Flash. Even though I bought the piece, I had to get the cover too. I love his Flash. I don't know what it is.
It's pretty legit
Yeah.
because, like, it kind of doesn't even look rushed, right? Like,
Yeah.
it looks so clean. It looks like you put some time and effort behind it. I remember you showing me. I was happy as hell with it. It's not
Yeah.
even mine. I'm like, wow, that's sick.
It's clean, right? It's simple, like, and that's his work. If you look at his work, it's clean. The line work's great. It's fantastic.
I always like talking to him. Like chatting with Dave. It's like,
Oh, he's such a nice guy.
yeah, he's such a nice guy. And I remember I did buy that one cover. I forgot which Batman it was, but the Tom King one where he did the variant cover. I think it was like 63 or something, where it was like he took a picture of the buildings from like his friend's penthouse during New York Comic Con.
Oh yeah.
And then he just put he just drew in a Batman or something, and then it's like that, like DC liked it so much it became a variant cover. And then he's like, yeah, I'm getting crap for it all the time. He's like, everyone's like, that's lazy art, and I'm like, no, it's like, photographers are artists. I told him,
Yeah,
no,
right.
it's just like you just used another form of art to express something, and you know what, like you showed it. And they liked it, and I have the print over here. Can't really see it, but it's a Gotham City print, and it's the same thing. It's like it's this Batman. It's the cities, and like Batman's just like hovering over the city. But I did get when was it? I got that book signed by Dave Johnson at New York Comic Con. Then I saw Tom King because the cover is actually Batman on a building, and you see his cape. So Tom King put one of his Batmans on the other side, and he wrote, "My cape is bigger." And
Did you write "I'm sorry" on it too?
of course,
Yeah.
and I had to show Dave that. He had a good chuckle, and yeah, great guy. I said hello to him really quickly, and maybe he remembers me, or maybe he doesn't. God knows the amount of people that they meet. The only reason people recognize me is because I'm 6'7", but besides that, it's like I'm just another face.
But you're always there. I feel like I ran into you on the floor just at random, probably 24 times. Like you're always there.
Even like last year at Wicked Con, we just kept on running into each other. We were looking for each other, and I turned around there. You're bin diving, and I'm like, I think I was doing the same. I'm everywhere, dude. When I got my sneakers on, catch me if you can. Another great piece you picked up, and this was kind of like a tribute, of course. We lost Tim Sale last year, and I picked up one of these pieces myself at New York Comic Con, and it's a great piece to pick up, especially if you're a fan of any of Tim Sale's work or Long Halloween or anything in general. And also, the big thing about this piece is the proceeds go to Tim Sale's family. just to help out. Something that Jeff Loeb's doing at all the cons. But I didn't even know you went to Jeff Loeb until you showed me this.
Yeah, I had to. Like I walked by and I saw because Jeff was at Fan Expo last year.
Yeah,
So I,
that was his first
anything
show in a while last
I
year.
know it was
That
awesome. And
line was huge.
it was nuts. Um, I know part of me is like, damn, I could have just waited for this show. I would have walked right up to him. But like I'd gotten everything I needed to get signed by him signed last year. So I'm
Nice.
just like, yeah, it's awesome. He's here. Like I'm super pumped for people who haven't got to meet him. He's, such a nice guy, right?
Yeah,
But I walked by and I saw this. I'm like, I have to. Like I said, Long Halloween is my favorite Batman story. I never got the chance to meet Tim Sale, which I'm super sad about. Big picture, it's you know that's nothing, right? But and knowing it went to his family, and it's just a beautiful Tim print. Like I had to grab that, and I usually don't get stuff personalized. Like I don't sell or flip or anything like that.
yeah,
But I usually don't do the personalization thing. But like for this, like this is going up on the wall. This is going to be, this is for me. This piece meant a lot to me, probably more than most of
yeah.
the sketches, just because of how much I love that story. And again, like getting to at least meet Jeff and talk to him, and such a nice dude.
Yeah, this was a big piece. I got mine right over here below the bat clock. And it's one of those where I'm like, the moment I got back home from New York Comic Con last year, I was like, I gotta put this up.
Yeah.
Bought a frame. And it's just overall, I met Tim Sale the first Terrificon back. I think Terrificon was like the first con I did back after COVID.
Yeah.
And he was there, and I was like, "Hey, you making it in New York, whatever?" And he was like, "Nah, I don't think so." And it was, it's weird. He personalized a couple of books for me that he signed. It's like 2 Dunk, right? And I actually, there's one. Was it the Father's Day one? Yeah, the Father's Day one I bought over to Loeb, and he saw Tim's signature on there, and like it was like a moment, because it's a grave, and it's like the moment that like Jeff saw it. I was just like, it's tough. But yeah, if you guys see Jeff Loeb and he signed those prints, it's a great add-on to your collection, especially if you're a fan of Long Halloween or any of Tim Sale's work. The proceeds do go to the family. You got another 6 sketch.
I went crazy with sketches this year, man. Like that, it's literally, I think the only things I bought that weren't sketches were the Tim Sale print, that Batgirl, and blanks for sketches. Like that's it. Yannick Paquette.
Yeah, he went in because like he even added the background colors. You got some buildings. The buildings kind of look like buildings over in Boston.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
a little bit of New York in there with the water tower too, right?
Yeah,
but this man, he was at Fan Expo 21. That was the first year back, actually.
that was where Lima Bejo was there. I remember you sent me a picture when you were on land for Lima Bejo, and I'm like, God damn it, I should have went.
Yeah, he's there this year.
Yeah,
but
another big year.
Yeah. So I met him. I wanted to get a sketch. I never went back, and I regretted it since. So when I saw his name pop up, I actually went to his he has like a sign up ahead of time online. Like I just messaged him, and I was like, "Yo, I'm like, I want to set up a cover. I'm like either Batgirl or Batman, not sure yet." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever one you want to do. Like it's cool. I got the spot saved for you." So he was cool. Set it up ahead of time. Couldn't find the Batgirl cover, so I was like, "Batman." And he goes, "All right, what do you want me to do?" And he was doing his just like head sketch rate for a cover. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, just Batman cover, totally fine. Like I almost expected kind of what, Dave Johnson did, or even something close to what Adam Hughes did. Right. And he's like, all right, yeah, I'll throw some buildings in the background or whatever. Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Like, you're the artist, man. Like you do your thing. Like I just want a Batman cover from you and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I walk back up to his table. I'm like, are you kidding? Like that's watercolor in there. Just ridiculous. So good. And he's awesome. Again, such a nice guy. Everybody in comics is a nice guy, right? But like Yannick is especially like he'll chat with you all day. He just loves talking about art, loves talking about the characters. Super cool, dude.
I was talking to Yannick for a bit. I met Yannick at MegaCon last year, and I met him because Liz Wonder wanted to walk over. She's like, "Let's walk over and say hello to Yannick." And I'm like, "What? Okay." And I was talking to him. I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, man, who do you prefer to sketch?" And he was like, Swamp Thing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't even think about a Swamp Thing cover. And I'm like, you know what? If that's what he prefers, like when it comes to these artist guys, you want you want to pick or have a character that they enjoy doing, that they have fun doing that character, you're going to get more than everyone else does. That's like a loophole, right?
Yep.
I won't even think about getting a Swamp Thing cover. Not a thought in my mind would say Swamp Thing. But now I'm like, I want to see him draw a Swamp Thing for me. So now next time I see him, I might have to like, there's no Swamp Thing blanks. All right, guys, make a Swamp Thing blank. Add that. I guess if there's Justice League Dark blanks, I could pull one of
Yeah.
those. But he was saying how he likes Swamp Thing, and he didn't even say Wonder Woman. I'm like, yo, he's so known for his Wonder Woman right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He just did his last cover like recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, I
But
mean, he's probably
great
sick
guy.
of it.
Yeah.
Doing it so long, right?
But great guy, great channel. I did ask him about a Poison Ivy, and he gave me a look, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, I think I like that." I'm like, "You said Swamp Thing, right?" It's like draw more leaves.
There's a couple out there, I think. When I was thinking about what to get, because I mean, my mind also kind of went Wonder Woman. I'm like, he does such a great Wonder Woman. Like, should I
Yeah,
just do that? You know, it's out of character for me. Like, I like Wonder Woman, but that's not the first sketch I would think of. And I started
100%.
just like Googling his sketches, and I'm like, Google Images, like, what's up there? And there were a couple Babs, only a couple Batman up there, ton of Wonder Woman, but Swamp Thing was pretty big, and a bunch of people at the show were getting Swamp Thing too. I think he do Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing? I feel like
Part
he
of me
did
wants to
something
say
on Swamp
yeah.
Thing. I'm gonna fact check this right now. My phone's in front of me.
I'm like, yeah, you got me. I'm like, you got me looking. Um, but yeah, he such a nice guy, man. So easy to talk to, and like he loves what he does. So you got great conversations with him.
Yeah.
And it's not as busy as he should be. Any of these artists that we talk about, like they're not as busy at these big cons or the small cons. So go over, say what's up, support them. Um, you pulled anything up yet?
I'm looking through. Yeah, he did Scott Snyder. He did issues 1 to 3, 5, 7 to
Okay,
9, 13, 14. Yeah,
that
so
makes
he did
sense.
most of Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing run. I
Nice, yeah,
thought that's what it was. Um,
awesome.
yeah, so I mean that makes sense. That was before my time in comics. I feel like I watched your last episode with Randy from Wicked, and I think we got into comics right around the same time, actually.
Yeah,
You and me.
I jumped in about like the Tom King run.
Yeah, same.
I
Like,
think it was like issue 20, when issue 20, and then Detective Comics when like Clayface just died or something.
oh yeah, the James Tynion running on Detective was so underrated.
Yeah, and then White Knight came about like within a month, and
Yeah,
I just got back into comics. I haven't been into comics since I was a kid, really. I remember like Sonic the Hedgehog.
yeah.
My dad gave me a Dark Knight book that I got signed by Frank. Um, yeah, it was like mid '90s, but then then basketball life started, and I forgot about comics. But yeah, we probably did get back into it at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Another artist that I'm a huge fan of. He's also a friend that was there. He was sitting in one of the hottest spots, right between Sean Gordon Murphy and Adam Hughes. Clay McCormick, man.
Yeah.
I picked this book up. It wasn't for myself. It was again for Fernando Knight. Check out this remark, dude. He went black and gold.
That's so good.
Yo, I was staring at this
So
and I was like,
good.
"Are you kidding me?" Like, yo, and then I got book signed by him, and I didn't even ask for a remark because I was just like, "Oh crap, this is so dope." But in my mind was still like, there's so much to take in. Adam Hughes. Um, I got Adam Hughes sketch, a bunch of Sean Murphy stuff done. Again, I'll go over to my Amanda Connor thing, and then it was like, you're showing me what you got. Risley is telling me about his Brian Stelfree sketch. And I'm like, yo, there's so much going on. Like, we're out here like attacking on all cylinders, getting all the stuff that we want done. It was such a productive thing. And then I'm looking at this and I'm like, I forgot to completely ask for something like this. That black and gold, hands
That's so good.
down, I never would have thought about that. But on this foil, it just pops. And
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen, all jokes aside, I'm going to show you some stuff that Clay McCormick did, just messing around. Like your
Yeah,
guys, he's just messing around.
This is a dude.
if you see him at a con, guys, like, yo, get a sketch, get it now. He's an amazing artist, extremely humble. He's gonna get big. He's gonna get hard to come by, man. Because like this is just him messing around at his table, uh, and I had to snag it. Although, like, I don't care about Spidey or Judge Dredd. That's just Dredd, right? Am I nuts?
Yeah, no, it's Judge Dredd.
Yeah, but like, look
What
at
is
that.
that down below that? Is that Predator?
No, I think he was messing around with just Jason Todd's
Oh,
mask.
I'm
Like
so
you see a
behind on all
smaller
the
one
white stuff.
there, and the middle one, like he's messing around with Jason Todd there, and then like
Yeah,
the one to the left middle looks like it kind of looks like almost like Hush, but it's also Jason Todd in the front. The Batman in the middle. I was just like, he's like, yo, you want this? I'm like, yeah, but check out the back of this. Like again, he was just playing around. Check out his Nightwing.
so unbelievable.
Yeah, he was just messing around, and I didn't put the sketch that I got from him on here. Sadly, if not, guys, go on my page, Everything Batman 219. It's up there. He's holding it. It's a Batman 89 Joker. Again, whatever you could get, whatever you buy some sketches, buy some original pages from him. Don't sleep on Clay McCormick.
Don't be me. 2 shows now, 2 shows in a row. I've been like, yeah, I'm gonna go get something, and I just like, for whatever reason, never did. Even in this show, like I had so much time. I bounced out early Sunday, and I'm like, damn, I feel like I forgot to do something.
I was hanging out there and like just chilling with him,
Yeah,
and his girlfriend, all this stuff, man. Just a great, humble guy, and major sleeper. Generation Joker's coming out. He's working on that. Might be working on a cover. You never know, guys. I'm telling you. He's gonna be he's a sleeper right now, and I think if you guys could get a hold of any sketchers or remarks, anything, get him now. Trust me, he doesn't disappoint. I actually got it. Do I still have the Jason Todd here? Hold on, I got a Jason Todd last year WickedCon. No, I don't have it on. Oh, here it is. This is last year's WickedCon Jason Todd that I got from him.
for a convention sketch, like that's just crazy,
Yeah.
man. Like the
Okay, I got the
shading
smoke
of
on the
it.
gun and everything. Like, yo,
Yeah.
like that was amazing. This is last year WickedCon, and very extremely affordable. Just get what you can now, guys, before it's too late.
Right. I hope he does Fan Expo this year because I'm doing it.
I
Fan
think
Expo or Rhode Island, either one.
I think he's definitely gonna do Boston. He's from the Boston area, so
Yep.
it just makes sense for him to be home. This is well. Here's one thing I got done. Another goal of mine. Again, part of my collection. Amanda kind of loves this cover, so I went over and she wasn't really doing remarks, but it got kind of slow. And take advantage, guys. When it's slow, sometimes you get things that they're not offering. And she was really nice to put some time aside and do this Poison Ivy on for me. I'm not going to tell you to get this cover because I'm trying to buy as many of them as possible. But it's a great remark cover. So you pay a remark price because there's a certain space for the remark. If you go with a full blank, you're going to get charged a sketch cover because someone like Amanda Connor, she has all this open space. She wants to make it bigger and put more work into it. And that's what happens when you come up with a full blank. But if you have something like this, you're only going to pay the remark price. And, this is exactly what I wanted. I already have one from her with a Harley on there. Now I got this one with Poison Ivy. I think on my third one, I might go with Joker. Because I do have a Joker sketch. I just realized that. Sean Murphy's. But I think the third one I might do with Joker. But I'm not going to go Amanda Cano. I might have Jimmy do the Joker.
There you go. There you go. Do the set.
Yeah. So then I have all three, and then I got to find more of these covers. So guys, if you find any of these or Batgirl, hit me up, please.
No, come to me with the background.
So the one thing I did see that surprised me, again, I just thought he was a Marvel guy. Then I realized he did do some DC covers. Mark Brooks had this on his table,
I saw him working
and
on this live. Oh my
and
god.
I'm staring at it, and I'm like, damn it, I have that blank on me right now, and I'm like, do I
Yep.
want to spend my money and get this? And it wasn't obviously it was a commission for someone else. As you can see, his hand holding it above here, he was just showing me, and I was just like, yeah, I need to get the Catwoman or something from him. He, he falls in the category of a lot of artists that sound horrible, but he really knows how to draw a woman on a cover. If you look a lot of his Marvel covers, it's
Yeah.
he's like the Marvel guy to draw female covers, and he has, I see him signing 1/100s, 1/150s, 1/25s, a lot of like variant covers, and um, he's known for a lot of older work in Marvel. And again, all I see is Marvel covers, and then I look him up and I start seeing his like DC stuff, and I'm like, I failed, but whatever. I got everything I wanted accomplished. This was a perfect time for me to see another artist and see what they're capable of. Now, next time I see him, hopefully a smaller con, right? Because
Yep. Yep.
he could get busy, but he's also on the comic sketch arc, so I might have to go through them to get something like this.
Yeah, they do a
But
lot of mail-ins and stuff.
yeah, but something I looked at this and I was just like, yeah, I want this Catwoman in my collection. And small homage to Batman Returns, um, a little Joel Jones, Catwoman in here, just very fitting, and
Yeah.
I'm just amazed by what I saw. Uh, so the majority of the stuff we got done was Saturday. Most of the things you guys saw so far was Saturday. The other artist that I never really had a chance to chat with was actually Brian Stelfreeze, and I didn't have any of these things here because a lot of it was videos, and I'll get to playing videos later on, and later podcasts. But I was able to chat with him, and I chat with a lot of people who got not remarks, but got sketches or commissions. They're part of his commission list, and the things people were getting done was awesome. I witnessed him do a 50 Cent remark on one of those hip hop covers, the Iron Man hip hop cover. It was a
Oh yeah.
homage to the Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent, and he did this 50 Cent. Like he drew 50 in the bottom. It's also on my page, and I just stood there for 30 minutes and just watched him do this. Again, guys, like you could do this. That's how much space there was and all this stuff, and he just did it randomly. He was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that remark. And here he is working this remark. And when he gave it back to the guy, I was stuck. Like, wow. And then Brian says something to the likes of, hey, thank you for allowing me, thank you for sharing this journey with me and allowing me to test this on your book. Like he was testing this.
Wow.
And it came out so well. I was like, what a humble guy. I met him at Baltimore 2 years ago, but it was really short. His line was crazy long because like in Baltimore, he's like the one that you don't see, right? Um, I think the only two shows he ever does is Baltimore, and he did WickedCon this year. He doesn't really do any of the bigger shows. He's really hard to find, really hard to come by. But him and I chatted for a while about Batgirl and Oracle, and then apparently some guy came up to him with all his Oracle stuff, and he did a quick little sketch, a quick little sketch for him of Oracle, and I was like, damn, I missed out. He's like, yeah, the guy showed up with a T-shirt and all my work, and I'm like, all right, so that's what I got to do. But it was great getting to know him a little more, and it was great to see him for the second time at a show. He really does Baltimore every year, so that was cool. Then the other thing you and I ended up doing, the drink and draw. You didn't send your coasters, but guys,
Nah, I got them behind me somewhere though.
I'm no artist. This is hysterical. Someone actually told me they're not that bad. I'm like, they're horrible. And we go to drink and draw, and what they do in drink and draw, they give you these coasters, and it's like sketch on. I have in my story if you guys want to see, and you give a marker and you just sketch. There's artists around. There's no one's like guiding you or everything. Everyone's just hanging out, having a couple of brews, and just kicking it. So this is what I came up with.
very Kelly Jones inspired
A
here.
little Kelly Jones, a little Sean Murphy line-ish, you know. I was a Jack Daniels and maybe, I don't know, my fifth beer in.
Yeah, we
But
definitely did the drink part.
yeah, we were really focused on the drink part, and we're trying to draw. But I'm pretty happy with it for a non-artist. I gotta fix my ears up, and maybe I shouldn't be using a Sharpie. I should have just done it in pen, right?
All right.
So that was cool. You have yours on you?
Yeah, I did a full Justice League. If you want to call it that. Did it some Injustice. So yeah, I mean, you got Batman there.
There you
Not
go.
terrible, not my worst work. Um, Wonder Woman, I owe every Wonder Woman artist ever an apology for this one.
Dude, it's all good. Bring out
And
the
then
artist.
we got Gremlin Flash, as I like to call it. But this one, I don't know. Like, my wife didn't believe I drew this one. I texted her.
The
She's like,
soups, right?
yeah, she's like, you didn't draw that. I
You
brought
were
up a
focused on that, dude.
I think the big thing here is like these I brought up like, like really like comic heavy like reference images on my phone trying to like, follow it. This one I brought up just like a Bruce Timm like animated, so like super simple lines, but like
Yeah,
that's probably the best thing I've ever drawn in my life. I mean, it's not good by any means, but like
no,
I
dude,
mean,
you were focused on the other ones. And I
yeah,
think
I tried.
part of that one I also walked away. I wasn't a distraction. And then you come back and you're like, yo, check out my Superman. And I
Yeah,
was like,
I'm gonna have to go
what
on my
the
wall
hell?
here.
That was fun, man.
It's a good
That's one
time.
thing that WickedCon did last year. Um, uh, the drink and draw. Drink and draw was pretty fun. Last year was kind of nuts because they had everyone in this at the Westin open the bar area. But that being said, just overall, man, guys, it was a great experience. I'm going to be selfish by saying I don't want it to be packed.
Yep.
But that wouldn't be the right thing to say. I think if you're a Comic-Con artist, and we'll see where we come by with what guests they come with next year. Next year they will be having it June 29th and the 30th at the Westin Seaport. Same place they had them last year.
Yep.
Just stay alert. Look up what guests they're gonna have. It's kind of weird because they'd be in June, but June's actually a really good time in Boston.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. So this will happen probably several weeks before San Diego Comic-Con. Because San Diego's mostly in July.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then we haven't seen anything else come up con-wise for next year, but I'm sure this is something I got to go to WickedCon every year.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a good show. And again, like Fan Expo is great. Fan Expo brings in a really good mix, especially if
Yeah.
you're in like the celeb thing and like
It's all pop culture.
yeah, but like they've got the money to bring in the top
Yeah.
McFarlanes too, right? But like this show, like again, the year-over-year growth is just unbelievable, and it's run by such nice guys. Like they know everybody. Everybody likes them. Like
Yeah.
all the artists, the dealers, everybody who shows up, like they have such good relationships with them. Like even again, your last episode, Randy was talking about how Michael Cho used to come down to that show in New Hampshire and do favors for him. Like, so like these guys are gonna bring in, good names, and
Yeah.
everybody's so much more accessible. If you ever went to Boston Comic Con when it was Boston Comic Con, I only went once before it changed over, but like this reminded me a lot of that, where it was really so much more comic focused.
Yeah.
That had some celebs, that had panels. We're not there with this show yet, but again, I almost kind of like that more because I feel like I'm a panel guy when I go to cons. I love going and
Yeah,
seeing
you
people
are.
talk. I love the sketch duels.
You were gone at Boston Fan Expo. I'm like, where the hell? Oh, I'm going to this panel. I'm like, all right, bro, see you later.
I love hearing the stories, right? And
Yeah.
the table, you only get so much time to talk, but when it's a show without those panels, you get more time. The artists tend to be at their tables longer too. The bigger
Yeah.
shows a lot of times are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be here from like 1 to 2 and then like 4 to 5 or whatever. And like, then they gotta do their panels, they're gonna do their breaks and all that. A lot of times like, meetings are happening behind the scenes because they're all getting together and again, like artists and writers and everybody live so far. Like this is their chance to meet in person. These smaller shows, they're just hanging out at the tables all day with the fans.
Yeah, it's
Like this
awesome.
is the chance. And this show it's just
Perfect
phenomenal.
show. It's a perfect
is.
show. As you mentioned, perfect Comic-Con show. I didn't even mention Dan DiDio was there. Dan DiDio was actually searching portfolios. They are looking for talent. They still are. Of course, he's going to be in New York and San Diego doing the same. Not sure what other cons. He didn't mention what other cons he's going to be at. But if you see Dan and you're an artist or a comic book writer, get your portfolio ready. If you see him, one of the friendliest guys.
He's so nice.
Such a friendly guy. I found out he was living in Jersey for a while, and him, myself, and his wife were chatting about all the restaurants and stuff in the neighborhood. And I was shocked that he knew my name. Like, that's how great of a guy the Dio is. I've only seen him. This is a third con where I've seen him, and like, my name. Like, holy shit! Like, I didn't know we chatted that much. But he's very approachable. High energy. His wife's phenomenal. If you see Dan, just say what's up, man. Another cool dude. I don't know. I really got nothing else to say about this show besides I hope I see you guys there June 29th and 30th of 2024. You got anything else, Chris?
Go to the show. Come hang out. Boston's a great city, and it's an amazing show. It's only going to get bigger. I mean,
Yeah.
if they grow even half as much as they did over last year, this year, like next year, and like even like I was looking at the artist list again, and when I first looked at it, it was like the Vince McMahon meme, right? Where it falls out of the chair. I'm like, wow. And then they even had some people who were coming that canceled, which it happens with shows, right? But like the canceled guest list for this
Yeah.
show
That could have been a con.
is heavy hitter, like Tomasi, Olivier Capiel, like
Yeah.
big names here, and like awesome people, and to imagine if they were all here on top of that too, right? And like
Yeah.
still brought in the lineup they did. Like this show is just it's so good, and it's a true comic show for comic fans. I think the other thing we didn't really talk about too much, for the first time in a while, I didn't do any book shopping, but like the dealer list here, like the people that they bring in,
Solid dealers.
there's one, I can't think of what their booth name is. They were set up right next to Capture. They had one of those big, like the wood shelving walls.
Oh, to the right, yeah.
Yeah, just slab books everywhere. The last year at this show, and at Fan Expo last year, I got two big books that I've been looking for a while from them for great deals. I got a Batman 237, which is the Neil Adams Reaper cover.
Nice.
Great book. I got a good like personal connection to that book. I won't go into now, but suffice it to say, there's this awesome like Halloween town up in Vermont that all the artists used to go to back in the day, and it's a cool place. That book's got a cool connection to that, and I like to go up there at
Nice.
Halloween time. And along Halloween #1 in a 9.8, like I see raw copies everywhere, but you don't see
A 9.8.
already graded 9.8 books. And from that booth at both shows last year, I was able to get, and they were here again this year. So somebody, in Harrison's Comics up in Salem, Massachusetts was set up. They had a lot of really good stuff. They had a Sweet Tooth #1 I almost picked up.
Oh, yeah, you
I
told me
held
about
back.
that.
I went sketch instead. I was trying to bounce out that budget a little bit,
You have to.
But I mean, just there's so many great shops there, so many great art dealers too.
Yeah, a lot of local
Yep.
people that
Yeah.
you gotta support local.
There were some pages I was looking at from like recent issues of Detective. They were the inked pages. They were only like a couple $100, and
That's not bad.
great pages. And I'm just like, do I do this? Do I do that? For me, I'm like, again, like, all right, I got to show some restraint, but just knowing that like this stuff is there, and
Yeah,
it's so easily accessible, and you don't have a lot of competition for it because it's not,
not a
this
massive show.
huge show. It's great. And I'll say too, like I really liked what they did with like the cosplayers and things like that. Like they had like kind of
Doing a
like
little
their
section.
space in their own room, but it didn't feel like two
They
different
weren't,
shows.
they
or,
weren't
like,
isolated.
yeah,
They were
weren't like
kind of
split.
isolated, but it was like not really. And you still like you walked over there. Well, I
Yep.
did numerous times. But just overall, I don't know. I walked out of there. I can't compare it to another show. I walked out of there like accomplished.
Yep. Yep.
I went to vendors. I even helped. My biggest thing, and obviously, I was helping capture it out, and this guy asked me something, and he was like, "Oh, do you know how to value books?" And he had a Jenny Fresen. I think it was a 1 in 100. Something's Killing the Children, issue 1. And I was
A
like,
lot.
he was like, "Yo, do you know how much it's worth?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think it's like a $300, $400 book." raw if it's nice. And then I went, of course, I went on eBay and I was like, 9 days going for like $700-800. And he's like, someone gave me this. And I was like, well, brother, if I was you, I'll get it graded, and sell it that way. If someone gave it to you and you spend no money out of pocket, get it graded, it's going to cost you about like $45-50 for shipping. And, you'll see, worst case scenario, it's graded. No one could debate the price when it's graded.
Yep.
And you can sell it for $500-600 easily on a bad day, or you could wait when the show comes out. Whenever that happens, if it happens, you could sell it for like $800-900. And he was like, "Oh man, great, thank you very much." And he was like, "Treehouse Brewery's near, close."
Yep.
And my buddy Roberto, thank you very much, shows up, gives me a can of King Julius from Treehouse, and the guy's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Treehouse," and he was like, "I owe you a couple of beers from Treehouse." I'm like, "All right, when am I going to see you?" He's like, "Terrific Con." There it is. I'll bring some Treehouse. I'm like, "Sweet." I'm not even planning to go to Terrific Con. Now I got to go.
Now you are.
I want some Treehouse.
Now you are.
But guys, definitely go to this show next year. Hotels could be a little expensive. Get 2-3 dudes, split the damn hotel one night. Show up. My game plan. Show up early Saturday, right? Drop your stuff at the hotel. Keep all your comic book stuff with you. Go straight to the show. By dropping stuff at the hotel, they can hold it for you till your room's ready. You cross the street if you have the hotel there, unless you're staying at the Westin. You could just creep up later, drop your shit off, actually bring it into the room, and then go right back to the show. And then when you're done, go back to your room, dress up, hang out, drink and draw. Have a couple of drinks, chill with a couple of cool ass people. I know there's gonna be a lot of great artists next year because Randy, Bob, and the team are not gonna fail us.
Nope.
And you hang out Sunday morning, you wake up, you go back to the show, get whatever you need to get done, and then you leave. Unless you want to hang out in Boston, which I don't see why not, especially in June, right? It's gonna be nice out. Go to the duck tours, go to a couple of breweries.
Come hang out. I'll show you around.
Yeah, come hang out. But Boston Bats, I want to thank you very much for joining me on the show, and thank you for just thank you for everything you did that weekend. It was great chilling, and
it was a blast.
Definitely have you back because we'll be at Boston Fan Expo.
Yeah, we definitely will be.
Yeah.
And are you doing Rhode Island? I know we talked about it briefly. You think you'll pop down to that? I just booked a hotel today.
I have no idea.
Fair enough. I just booked a room today just in case, fully cancelable. I'm like, I think I'm going to do Saturday and Sunday. Just do the overnight. It's only an hour drive. Yeah, it's an hour drive for me, but I don't want to go back and forth both days. So Providence is a cool city.
Yeah, you don't want to do that drive. And Rhode Island is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
But guys, definitely go to WickedCon next year. Thank you very much for listening to the episode. Of course, as always, give us a follow, leave a comment, subscribe. Send me DMs if you want to. Who should I invite to the show? Let me know what other comic cons to check out. Anyone you want on the show, let me know. Besides that, it's April 28th right now. Next month is May. May is going to be a little crazy. A little. Guys, just be safe. Keep on collecting. Don't spend all your money all in one place. Some of you guys getting your tax money right now. Don't do what I did. Besides that, thank you very much, guys. Good night and have a good one, fellas and ladies. Can't forget the ladies.
Thank you.